Hello, my name is Stephen Breckenridge Oliver, and I'm making this film today to enlighten you that the supposed discovery of the cause of the Bermuda Triangle Mysteries is just not the case. All right, now you can believe that a bunch of wind blowing is the reason a compass spins if you want to. You can believe that wind blowing is the same thing that causes electronics to malfunction if you want to. I don't believe it for a second. What causes the Bermuda Triangle mysteries is the global polarized static effect. Now, what that means is the globe of Earth has a positive and a negative charge. And these charges, just like any other type of substance, material, or structure in which is able to maintain an electromagnetic field, the globe itself also does. Now, when positive and negative become equal to a mass such as the globe itself or the planet, then when the moon and the sun line up just right, then what happens is the field becomes amplified. And a result of that amplification is static between the positive and the negative. Now, what causes this is the magnetic crystals, the metallic crystals. There was one fellow one time, he figured he had solved the Bermuda Triangle, and he discovered that around the equator, throughout the entire globe, there is a certain type of metal crystal. I've seen the photographs. I don't know where they went. They seem to have disappeared. But once upon a time, there was this fellow who claimed that he had solved the Bermuda Triangle, and he found this on the bottom of the sea. He found a metallic crystal in which contained magnetic properties. Now, he felt that this was evidence that this super strong magnetic force was what was pulling the ships down, and apparently pulling the aircrafts down into the water as well. Well, that's not the case. There is a cement hull ship that is stranded there in the Bermuda Triangle effect. Cement is not subjected to that effect. Now, what we are looking at as a proof positive is that something is going on, and when positive and negative have a neutral base, the ability to obtain magnetic north is gone. And the only thing that a compass can do is spin, because it has no idea where magnetic north is. Now, then there's the electronics, the binary, 0 and 1. When this neutral field surrounds any type of electronic device, what it does is it maintains a steady feed, and the processor is unable to determine the 0 from the 1. This is why the electronics malfunction. Now, as we look at all the evidence in which we have to be presented, what we're coming up with is that global polarized static is creating a neutral field, nullifying the ability to obtain magnetic north, as well as nullifying electronics, the ability to function correctly. Okay, when I discovered and figured this out, I don't know, I guess it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I tried to let everybody know, they just ignored me. Okay, you can believe that wind blowing is what is doing this to the Bermuda Triangle if you want to. But as I was discovering this, there was one remaining puzzle that a neutrino field would not provide the solution for until I figured it out. There's a big deal about dark matter and what it is. Big mystery. Well, not to me. As I was discovering properties of the Bermuda Triangle, I realized something. You may or may not be aware of what counter wave amplification is. If you're not aware, I'll enlighten you. As you have a red glowing stove element, and you turn all the lights off and you put a red light on that red glowing stove element, you'll discover it changes its appearance. It's no longer red, it's white. And the reason it appears white is due to the counter wave amplification effect. Now, does this mean that white heat is merely a light illusion? In some cases, most definitely probably yes. But in all cases, no. Some atomic numbers burn red and some atomic numbers burn white. So some of the white heat is legitimate. But some of that white heat, if you conduct this experiment yourself to discover what counter wave amplification is for yourself, and you realize that I am in fact correct, you will discover that the red heat goes to the appearance of white heat without an increase in temperature. So this tells us, beyond any shadow of doubt, that there are at least some of the instances in which we view white heat. That's just an illusion, a trick of the eye or a trick of the light. And as we realize this, it opens a lot of avenues to intelligence in different areas. Now, as I considered the counter wave amplification effect, as we are looking at dark matter, we notice that around the planet, around sources of gravity, there seems to be more dark matter. But under the scanners, it appears as something else. We don't know what it appears as. We're stumped. What it is concentrated dark matter. The same way that the red stove element appears to be white when we look at it under the red light. As we look for dark matter around the planet, we see more of it. And as we see more of it, we don't see the dark matter. It's like we're looking for the red light with red light, and we can't see it because it appears to be white. All right, well, with dark matter, as we look for the dark matter with a certain frequency, the frequency is being subjected to the counter wave amplification effect. So it does not appear as standard normal dark matter, but the dark matter is there. And it's there in the Bermuda Triangle as well as everywhere else. And if you're wondering what I'm getting at, yes, that is along the lines. If you have a good hunch, this is what I'm getting at. Dark matter is the basic elemental universal composition in which regulates the standard passage of time. Now, you may be wondering, how can I prove this? Are you familiar with satellite dilation? As the satellite is orbiting planet Earth, it has a variable of time passage in comparison to the time passage on Earth, here on the surface. And what does this tell us? It tells us, as we consider the variables in the density or the frequency of the dark matter, where that satellite is, versus the variables of the density and the frequency of the dark matter here on the surface of the planet, you'll notice they are conducive with time passage. Time travel is very much a reality. As we live and breathe, we travel through time. We have an hour ago, and we have now. The question is not whether or not this happens. The question is how this happens. Now, as Earth goes through space, it is traveling through the dark matter. And at a certain rate of speed, which the rate of speed stipulates the density or the frequency in which we are experiencing. Merge that with the counter wave amplification effect, and you have your realization. Now, is there a way to synthesize this? Now, that's where I remain silent. I have told you the secret. I can't really tell you that much more. It's just that way. I'm sure you understand, and if you don't, too bad. You've been enlightened. There is a lot more evidence to prove everything I'm saying. And I'm hoping you understand, for reasons of the preservation of mankind, you just can't know too much. Neither can I. Neither can any one person, hopefully. But for those that have already figured it out, and there are those among us, I am 100% certain of this. This is not a guess. For example, one would be certain Navy personnel who stumbled upon an accident, discovery. Yes. Accidents do happen. And some accidents are bigger than others. And some accidents we cannot allow to happen. Now, what would create these wind vortexes over the Bermuda Triangle? Well, let's say somebody synthesized the neutrino field and utilized its effect on dark matter to open a place in time and space in one place, and then found a doorway to another place. But not just another place, another time. You see, time and space are the same thing. Now, right now, is equal to 300 million years ago and beyond. Now, this explains the Bermuda Triangle Mystery beyond any shadow of doubt in my mind. And for those of you who still want to believe that wind is causing a compass to spin, well, that's your choice. There's no law that says you have to believe anything. And if you want to believe that wind blowing can actually cause an electronics device to cease functioning correctly, well, that's up to you again. You know, you can believe that too. But the only thing that I see as tangible in this scenario is the global polarized static effect. Now, what proves that this global polarized static effect is real, other than the fact that a compass actually works? Well, there's Nikola Tesla. And the way he explained to Hendershot, as Hendershot was building the Spirit of St. Louis aircraft energy supply system. And he sought help from Tesla. And Tesla enlightened him as to the polarization of the planet Earth and how to extract it. Now, this is an actual real thing. Consider this. As we take kilowatt hours and we put them into a radio antenna, it takes power to send out that signal.